What would you do if the man who raised you became the man who nearly crushed you at 3 a.m.? My dad thought he could break me with fists and fear, but instead I turned that night into the moment. I finally broke free. Welcome back to Revenge Revealed. Tailies, if you've ever dreamed of standing up to someone who abused their power, hit like and subscribe. This story is about finding strength in the darkest place. Let's dive in. For as long as I can remember, silence was my survival tool. My father wasn't just strict, he was unpredictable. A slammed door could mean a lecture, or it could mean bruises. To outsiders, he looked respectable. A man in his 50s with a firm hand and high standards. Inside our home, though, he ruled with temper and intimidation. I'm 20 now, but I still catch myself tiptoeing around the house like a scared kid. That night, I was just trying to avoid him. He'd gone to bed early, and I thought I was safe around. 12:30, I slipped out for a glass of water and a bathroom break. The floors groaned, the doors squeaked. The whole house was like a trap built to betray me. I did everything as quietly as possible. Still, I should have known he'd hear. He always did. At the time, I thought I was in the clear. I crawled back into bed, exhausted but relieved. But with my father, relief never lasted. Long at 2:49 a.m., my door burst open. The sharp creak of the hinges, the sudden flood of light, and then blaring music filling my room. My heart jumped into my throat. I sat up dazed. "Dad, what are you doing?" He sneered childishly, mocking me. "You were stomping around at exactly 12:47. You ruined my sleep, so guess what? I'm not letting you sleep either." I rubbed my eyes, trying to make sense of it. I went to the bathroom. I was thirsty. That's it. But he wasn't listening. He never listened. He fiddled with my alarm clock, threw on my lights, and paced like he owned the very air in my room. His voice was high, mocking, cruel. Every word was a reminder. In his mind, my needs didn't matter. My space didn't matter. My existence was a disruption. At first, I stayed calm, hoping he'd leave. But when I asked him, pleaded with him to go, he just smirked. He wanted a reaction, and when I stood up hoping to at least push him toward the door, he took one look at me and decided he finally had the excuse. He'd been waiting for. His fists collided with my jaw so hard. My vision blurred. I hadn't even recovered from recent wisdom teeth surgery, and the pain lit up my skull like firecrackers. Before I could even react, I was on the ground. His weight crashed down on me, his elbow crushing my neck. I clawed at the floor, scraping my arms, trying to breathe. "You're weak," he hissed. "If you were strong, you'd throw me off. But you can't, because you're nothing." The words burned more than his blows. I'm a small, skinny woman, something I've always been self-conscious about, and here he was using my insecurities as ammunition while physically pinning me down. I sputtered, begging him to calm down. When he finally rolled off, it wasn't out of mercy. It was because he'd gotten his fill of proving he could crush me. Lay there, chest heaving, skin raw, jaw throbbing, and all I could think was, if I fight back, I lose, but if I stay silent, I've already lost. That was the moment something inside me shifted. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. I sat in the dark until the sun rose, my head pounding, my body aching. My reflection the next morning showed peeling skin on my arm, a swollen jaw, bruises across my neck. Every mark was evidence. For years, I told myself I had no way out, that no one would believe me, that exposing him would only make things worse. But this time I couldn't stay quiet. I started small. I took pictures, every bruise, every scrape, every mark. I recorded my thoughts, whispered into my phone like secrets carried on stolen breaths. When he mocked me again, days later, calling me pathetic. During breakfast, I discreetly hit record. His cruelty became my ammunition. The plan formed in silence. He lived off reputation, the respectable father, the strong provider. If I tore that mask off in front of the people who admired him most, he would finally face the weight of his own actions. The chance came quickly. A family gathering, cousins, aunts, uncles, all crowded into our living room for my cousin's birthday. My dad was in his element, laughing too loudly, bragging about how he kept his household disciplined. My blood boiled in, then calmly I excused myself. I connected my phone to the speaker, scrolled to the recording, and pressed play. Suddenly, the laughter died. His voice filled the room. Not the fake charming tone, but the venom I knew too well. "You're weak, pathetic, nothing." Gasps rippled through the family. Forks clattered onto plates. My aunt froze mid-bite. My cousins exchanged horrified glances. Before he could recover, I opened the gallery and projected the photos onto the TV. My swollen face, the bruises, the scrape. Mark's proof no one could deny. The room fell silent except for his sputtering excuses. "She's exaggerating, twisting things," but his face told the truth. The man who once towered over me with rage now sat cornered, stripped bare of his lies. My mom's face crumpled. My cousins looked at him like he was a stranger. His reputation, his shield, shattered in a single night. For the first time, I wasn't the one shrinking. He was, and in that silence, in that shift of power, I realized I didn't need to swing my fists to beat him. I had already won. Did the scars fade quickly? No. Did the nightmares stop overnight? Not even close, but that moment showing the world who he really was changed everything. He could no longer hide behind the mask of father or provider. He was exposed, vulnerable, and powerless. Revenge wasn't about matching his violence. It was about stripping away his control, and once that control was gone, he had nothing left. Sometimes revenge isn't about fighting back harder. Sometimes it's about shining a light so bright that the darkness has nowhere left to hide. For me, that night wasn't just payback. It was the first step toward freedom. If this story hit you in the heart, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of justice and karma right here on Revenge Revealed Tales.